So for today's podcast, we are going to do another student-featured podcast, which are always some of our favorites to do. We're talking to two of our high school students here in EVSC. So first we have Alex Joyce. And Alex, you are a junior at Reitz High School out on the west side. And Taylor Deckman. Taylor, you are a senior at North High School. So first of all, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've brought you down here not only because you're successful students and doing things the right way, and we want to feature you, but also we want to talk about marching band because you recently completed this season's marching band season to great success, because congratulations to both of you, because Reitz made it to state for the third year in a row, and North High School once again made it to state. And so congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start with you, Alex. You're a junior. You've been in marching band, I know, longer even than high school, but in high school career, 3 years now. You've made it to state each of those 3 years. Tell me just, how would you summarize that, some of that experience up for me?
I think every year's been a little different. All the Lonely People, I've had a different reason each year.
Sure.
So All the Lonely People, I had a really good friend in the saxophone section. That's what I played normally. So like all the saxophones we got there at the beginning of June came, like, it was like, all right, we're going to make it for him. Like, we got to make it.
Yeah.
So that year it was for him. And last year, my brother, he was a really good drum major, better than me, better than anyone I've ever seen. Right.
Mm-hmm.
My reason was him. I wanted to get him to state.
Sure.
But this year was
what about this year?
This year was my first year as head drum major. And so I wanted to prove that I could do it. So this year was finally for me.
Okay.
So it was different in each way, but incredible each year too.
So saxophone player, but this year drum major. For anybody listening that is not familiar with marching band, what do you mean when you say drum major?
So the way I explain it to everyone, like people who are not in band, is I'm the guy who gets on the shiny podium and waves his arms around.
Right. You really are directing the band in the competitions. Yeah. So a lot of responsibility on that. You're truly the leader on the field.
Yeah, but I love it.
That's fantastic. So let's talk to you then, Taylor. So tell me about what your role is in the Green Brigade, and let's hear about your experience.
So every year I've done color guard.
Okay.
And that's...
I'm going to stop you there if you're not familiar with marching band. You say you're with color guard. What does that mean?
Color guard, we are the ones that flip the flags and throw the weapons. But yeah,
And really, color guard is, that is a vital part of the band. So, obviously you have the musicians playing instruments, but that routine, the show you all are doing, that's a huge part of it, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's also like a lot of work.
Sure.
To always be performing and always doing the work to like pull out every time,
Because through these competitions, people who don't maybe understand how these competitions work, you are being scored on every facet of your show, correct?
Yes.
So when I say that, give me an example when you're being scored, like when your director, first of all, let's give a shout out to your director at Reitz.
Yeah, Mr. Grimm.
Yes. And so when he's, working with you all, what kind of details is it that you have to be concerned about?
So I don't know the way North does it. I'm sure it's similar, but the way Reitz does it is we have multiple staff members. So Mr. Grimm kind of oversees everything. He's the guy that we have a tower. We practice at Parker.
Sure.
So he has a tower that he stands up and he is watching over us and giving comments. And then we have other staff members like Mr. Wood and Mr. Hartman and Mr. Daly and Mr. Miller, who are overseeing their own like kind of special section of the band. And then like for guard, we have other guard staff, and guard is just, it's so much harder than band in other ways, but then band is easier in other ways. It's just so different that we have a different staff for that.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Because I couldn't tell anyone how to flip a flag or do a dance move.
Right.
And I would never even try. They are so much better than me.
Right. And when Alex is talking about that, Taylor, you all, the precision it takes. You're being judged on every step of that program.
It's scary.
Right?
It's very scary knowing that like for all the kids watching the guard.
Right.
When I wasn't in band and I was watching my brother perform, I was always staring at the guard and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So just knowing that like the little kids are staring at us, making sure like we're good.
Well, I mean, it really is part of that entire program. I mean, you've got the band members that are playing the instruments. You all are doing the routine, the flags, whatever it is you're doing out there. And let's give a shout out. Your director of guard is?
We have Kirsten and Mrs. Farmer.
Okay. And of course, for people that don't know North, Mrs. Farmer's husband, then Mr. Noah Farmer, is the director of marching band, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really nice having them both
Sure.
help
Truly a
out
family
together.
affair.
Yeah.
And then you all actually this year finished tied for second in the state, correct?
Yes.
And then tell us how you finished last year.
Last year we got first in state.
You were the state champions last
Yes.
year. And I know it was difficult this year because you were very optimistic you were going to have a first place finish, but tying for second in the state of Indiana is still fantastic.
Yes, we're very lucky and very thankful for getting second place.
Sure. I want both of you to tell me this because I always like talking to students about this, and I think it's great for younger students to hear about this. You're very active in your schools. Alex, I know you're extremely active in band, which is really a year-long activity. You told me you're also out at the Career and Tech Center in the broadcasting program.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about just being involved in high school. If I'm a younger student saying, should I be involved? How would you answer that?
So I think you should be, because it helps you understand how things really work and how to be organized.
Sure.
And it helps you not get so caught up in things like that, like you really don't like. It helps you stay out of drama. It helps you,
Sure.
It gives you something to do.
Sure.
And it's not always easy, but if you ask for help and you just manage your time and you prioritize correctly, I think it's very doable.
Right.
And anyone who asks me, I've always told them I think they should be involved. Just find something you want to do and love to do it.
Sure.
Figure out how to make it work.
Taylor, what about you? What would your advice be for people that are asking you, younger students?
I'd say 100%. I'd say be involved in something you're passionate about.
Sure.
Like color guard, I was very passionate about that
Right.
my 7th grade year, and I've done it every year, and because of that I've grown in my community and gotten really close to everyone.
Tell me about making friends when you're in activities. I assume it really gives you a much larger friend group, right?
It's so much easier when you're like in the community, making friends in the community, because I get to like go to school with those people and see them after school.
Sure.
So it's more easy making friends when
Right.
I'm involved.
Right. And for both of you, just paint a picture for us for the scope of work it takes. Again, extremely successful marching bands. I mean, in your 3 years, in your 4 years, you've made it to state performing at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis each of your high school years. That doesn't happen to everyone. It takes an incredible amount of work. So, I mean, just talk to us for a second, Alex, about as you're preparing, I mean, when does the season start? What does that look like?
So for me, the season really starts about the last month of school.
Sure.
Whenever
The season for the next year coming up.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll just use this last year's example. I started I don't conduct much during the school year. I focus more on like playing my instrument, and
Sure.
I'll still conduct every now and then.
Right.
But I don't it's not like my practice that I do.
Right.
during
Because
the
as
season.
drum major, you're not playing your instrument really. You're
No,
you're
I'm
directing.
not.
Right.
Yeah, not normally. So, what I normally do is around the last month of school, I start conducting, and anyone who wants to learn, I offer to teach them. Right during
Okay.
Richmond after school, hang out on a weekend. I'll show you how to conduct. Right, because it's really a thing you have to teach yourself.
Sure.
I'll just show you how to do it.
Right.
Right. And then from then on, it's marching band is my life until about the day after state finals, when
Okay.
I can sleep in the next day and readjust and get back to it. It's just,
Sure.
and that's just how I like to do it, so I don't
Right.
get distracted.
I mean, really,
Seasons.
it's a daily activity. I know you're preparing in the summer, like you said, even starting the year before, and then it's after school. You have competitions on weekends throughout the fall, on Saturdays, not to mention football games, dedication. What about color guard? I assume same thing, right?
Okay, so for color guard, we have something called Toss Tuesdays.
Okay. What is that?
It's like we welcome in new members who are wanting to learn how to toss flags and everything.
Okay.
And we do that. I would say probably around like January, February.
Okay.
And we do that until we start spring training, and that's like the last month.
Right.
And then after that we take a break. And then from July all the way to November is just band.
Well, like Taylor said, all the way through, in this case, state competition, right? course, you're also a member of the Huskettes, right? Which is
Yes.
the dance team
Yes.
at North. Just tell us a little bit about that because, I mean, again, incredible amount of work, rehearsal, practice that it takes for you all to be successful, but I'm sure that's also a valuable part of your high school experience.
Yeah, so every day I don't have band, I have dance.
Okay.
And it definitely is way better knowing that, like, Mrs. Farmer is also doing
Right.
dance and color guard, so
Right.
she's in the same boat as me.
Right.
But, yeah, we put in a lot of work all the time to make sure we're the best that we can be.
But then when you do those performances, you know you're going to get the results going to match the work and the dedication, and for you all, that means a very successful performance, right? Well, let's do this. You guys have provided us really some interesting things to think about for people that may want to get into activities, may want to be in marching band, color guard, that type of thing. Talk to me now about what's coming up down the road. Alex, I know you, of course, are a junior, so you still have a little more time. Have you started thinking about life after high school yet? Not to rush things, but I have to ask you.
Yeah, I want to go into like audio engineering and sound design. And so I'm looking at some colleges right now for it, but it's nothing too set in stone yet. I'm still keeping my options open.
Sure, you've got time. And tell me quickly, what how's your experience been going to the Southern Indiana Career and Tech Center?
I love it. I haven't had a bad day there yet.
Right. And for somebody that might ask you, hey, is that something I should consider? You know, we have a lot of innovative model programs. We have a lot of programs at the Career Center. You know, what does that look like? It's half day, right?
Yeah, it's half day. So typically juniors go in the morning and seniors go in the afternoon. And I think if there's a program there that they're interested in, they should just apply. And it's not 100% chance they'll get in, but it's better to try it and maybe find something you love. Because I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to go into the program I did.
Right.
But it's helped me realize what I want to do when I grow up. And it's helped me make a really good group of friends that I can go to for help.
Again, more friends. And you still get to be at Reitz half of the day. So you're still with your friends you've always been with. Let's talk about your future because you are a senior then, Taylor. So a little closer for you here as we make our way through senior year. So what are you looking at in your future?
So I got accepted to Campbellsville University.
Okay.
It's a private Christian college in Kentucky.
Okay.
But I'm hoping...
Smaller school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping to do social work there.
Wow. Great.
I don't know what, like, part of social work I want to do, but I know I want to do it with kids.
Okay. And are you for sure that's the school you're going to go to? You've made your decision?
Yes.
Well, how great. Here it is November, and you've already made that decision. Now you can have a strong senior year, and you're going to be all ready for what comes down the road in your future.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to both of you on the success with marching band. I mean, again, for you both to be at this stage of high school and to say we've made it to state every year, that is just phenomenal, and wish you the great rest of your junior year, great senior year. And Taylor, we wish you a great rest of your senior year and best of luck to you next year in college.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming down and talking to us today.
Thanks for having us.